Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Don't go down to slavery. Don't go down to slavery.
Happy International Youth Day to everyone. Welcome to the GAP webinar brought to you by Live Abundantly. And I must say a big thank you to everyone on Zoom for joining. I'm just going to do a routine check. If you can hear me, I want you to wave your hand to me. Anthony Couture, are you there? Can you just wave your hand so I can be sure that you're hearing me? Oh, great. I can see you guys waving your hands. So good morning, everyone. As you know, the GAP webinar is inspired by Dr. Ama's very apt and thought-provoking article, which I believe clearly identifies the unprecedented challenges being faced globally today, all thanks to COVID-19 pandemic. The article also captures a clarion call to rise to the occasion by doing our bits. Now, while that article mirrors to us the very damn consequences of the pandemic and how it frustrates all the efforts that have been made in achieving the sustainable development goals, it also reminds us that every calamity indeed births an opportunity, telling us precisely what we must do to eradicate the gap. And we're very grateful for this brainchild of Dr. Ama and everyone at the Live Abundantly. I'm going to be telling you more about the Board of Trustees. Some of them are online with us as we speak. We're live on Facebook, I believe, on Instagram. It's International Youth Day, and we'll call this the GAP webinar on the sideline of the international commemoration. In the particular webinar, youth members of the Live Abundantly community have been asked to submit their creative interpretation of the article I just told you about, the gap, in any of three categories. We have creative writing, creative performance, as well as fashion design. And I'm told that the deadline is 6 p.m. today. Winners stand the chance of winning cash prizes, and of course, opportunity also abounds for skill training. Again, kudos to Dr. Ama and everyone at Live Abundantly for such timely intervention. I'll be telling you more about the International Youth Day in a short while, but let's begin with a fantastic performance by Robert Jane. How many of you have seen Robert Jane perform? I've seen her quite a number of times at the physical, when we have the opportunity to meet physically for events like this. She is a contortionist. And that's an entertainer who twists and bends their body into a very strange and unnatural position. So we're going to watch her do her thing. And when we return, I'm going to speak with her for about 5 to 10 minutes, and she'll be telling us about what she does. Welcome, everyone.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jane Chidindo Ibuchon. I'm a contortionist, a cheerleader, and an upcoming actress. My growing up was a really tough one, with all the challenges coming here and there, which would have practically made me lose it completely. But no, rather, it pushed me to wanting to make a difference. Whenever I take a look at where I'm coming from, with tears in my eyes, I say to myself, I will never end up that same way. With that, success becomes my watchword. Greatness becomes my ambition, and to elevate my family status becomes my aspiration in life. There's more to being a female child than to just grow up, get married, and make babies. I've always loved to be a good example to the society, to be looked up to as a role model. I grew up not with my parents, and trust me, that has given me a whole lot of experience, which made me really stronger. Truth be told, I'm still learning. I do all I do because I have passion for them. I know there are a lot of people looking up to me for a great change, and with my drive for the things I do to make a formidable impact in the lives of so many youths in our society, I know I'm going places. In life, be passionate about what you do. Don't follow the odds. Be real. Be smart. Be innovative. Above all, be you. Remember, the world is looking up to you. I still remain Jane Chidindu Iwecho. Keep it real.
Absolutely. Be passionate about everything you do. Remember that the world is waiting for you. I wish I could ask everyone to clap for her, but I'm not going to hear you if you clap. That's a very wonderful one, courtesy Robert Jane. I just need to be sure that Robert Jane is online so that I can quickly speak with her. Robert Jane, is she live yet with us here on Zoom?
No, she's not right now.
All right, so we'll get back to Robert Jane in a moment and we'll find out more about what she does, how she twists and bends her body. She talked about certain challenges earlier on in life that inspired what she does. I love the part where she said she's still learning. And that is very critical to everything we do. The fact that we must know that there's a better way to do whatsoever we're doing right now. And as long as we can hold on to that principle of learning and unlearning things, the sky can only be the starting point. All right, so we'll turn our attention to other very creative performances that we have lined up for you. If you're just joining us, it is the GAP webinar, courtesy Live Abundantly in commemoration of International Youth Day, observed every 12th of August. And this year is a very, very unique one. I'll be telling you more about that in a moment. Let us bring in Oluchi. And I believe that Oluchi is live with us on Zoom. And Oluchi will be singing, I believe. And Oluchi, what song will you be doing this morning?
All for me.
All for me. So
Yes.
the stage is yours. Wow.
Hello everyone, my name is Akubo Doluchi. I'm here to sing All for Me. What will I do without your smart mouth? Drown me if you kicking me out. You got my ears beating, no kidding, when I'll pin you down. What going on in your beautiful mind? All of your magical mystery right. And I'm so dizzy, don't know what is me, but I'll be alright. My eyes underwater, thought I'm breathing fine. You crazy and I'm out of my mind. 'Cause all of me loves all of you. Love your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfection. Give my all to me, to keep my all to you. You're my end and my beginning. Even when I lose and winning, 'cause I give you all of me. Hey, you give me all of you. Hey, hey. Thank you.
Wow, that is beautiful. Oluchi.
Thanks, sir.
See, you have a friend there who's cheering you on. Uh, how old are you, Oluchi?
17.
17. Beautiful.
Yes,
We'll be
sir.
talking more about your talented voice and what you do, why you do the things you do in the course of the program. But we must say that's a fantastic performance. I mean, I'm sure that the original writer of that song is the crowd listening to you right now. Thank you so much for that
Thank you,
beautiful
sir.
piece. All right, let's also bring in some of our spotlight participants who we're going to be featuring shortly in the course of the panel discussion later on. Adejoke and Adejoke Lasisi does something very remarkable, converting plastic wastes and textiles into innovative products. And you agree with me that there is no other thing our environment needs other than that at such a time like this, where there seems to be so much need, but at the same time, there's also so much waste. So you wonder how the world is so littered with many wastes, yet there are people who need things all around. So we're going to take some time out to listen to Adejoke tell us briefly what she does, and we'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Adejoke Lasisi. I'm the founder and creative director of Planet 3R. As Planet 3R, we convert textile and plastic waste into eco-friendly products. What do we do there? We take all this waste from households, businesses, and we weave them and convert them into beautiful items like floor mats. We also make gift boxes, different items that we make from them. Aside that, we create employment opportunities, and we also offer training to young people in the community. Why we started this initiative was that we realized that so many of these waste were just on the street and was just causing environmental hazards. So that was what we came up with. Okay, these skills, weaving skills that we already have, let us use it to do something to make more impact in our environment. And that was why we came up with all these beautiful items. We also create awareness in schools and communities, whereby people will understand the essence, the effectiveness of having a clean environment. And my advice to youth is that wherever you see a problem in the community, just try and find that skill that you already have inside of you to create a solution to the problem that you see in your community. Thanks, and God bless you all.
Great work, Adedoke. Adedoke tells us that all we need to make advancement with our life is identifying the problems and being the solution to the problem in our society. And that is perhaps the biggest thing I've heard today. There are many young people who would like to, give reasons why Nigeria is not working, why they involve in online fraud, or what many of us call Yahoo Yahoo, why they would want to involve in irregular migration and, run away from Nigeria, what is known as Japa, in the local parlance. But someone like Adejoke gives us hope, the fact that anything is possible if you can identify what the problems are and be the solution to that problem. If you're just joining us online, this is the GAP webinar brought to you courtesy Live Abundantly on the sideline of this year's International Youth Day. One of the questions we've battled with recently is the definition of youth. And it's interesting to know that across the world, this definition differs. For instance, in the United States, youths are categorized as individuals under the age of 25. And that is very interesting, individuals under the age of 25. In the United Kingdom, youths are those between 13 and 19 years old. Now, if you come back home to Nigeria, the new youth policy recognizes citizens aged 18 to 29 years as youths. But I'm going to go with the Africa Youth Charter that recognizes youths as people between the age of 18 and 35 years. At least that way, I also will be captured, under that umbrella of youth, especially in a country like Nigeria where 60-year-olds even claim to be youth. So all that matters is you being young at heart. It's the International Youth Day, commemorated every 12th of August. And the theme for this year is youth engagement for global action. We're going to be talking about that in the jiffy, but let's turn our attention back to the video materials we have here. And we saw one courtesy of Adejoke Lasisi, who turns waste literally to gold. Now let's go hear from Anjorin. Anjorin is another very passionate young Nigerian who is making do with what he has in form of skill, not only to better his own life, but also to impact positively on young people around him.
My name is Babatunde Adenira Anjorin. I'm also the creative designer of Anjorin Culture Label. I see fashion as a great future career. That is the reason why I choose to be a fashion designer. Because fashion is really fun. Come to what really inspired me of being a fashion designer. I was born and brought up in an area where we celebrate fashion at Ikoyi Obalende local government. What really come out from the designer in the community really inspired me and motivated me. That is why I quickly discovered myself, because I believe I can do better than what inspired me. Because fashion is fun and fashion rules the world. And for the upcoming youth that have passion of being a fashion designer, you don't need to be afraid to start. It's fun. You have to discover yourself for we to discover you, and we can bring out the creativities in you at Culture Fashion Academy, because your future is created by what you do today, and the future is now. You don't need to wait for tomorrow. Choose what you want to do for now. Fashion rule the world.
Indeed, fashion rules the world. That's Anjori Couture telling us exactly what it does and helping all of us to see that there are actually opportunities, enough opportunities abound right here in Nigeria. And it's just a matter of identifying the problem and being a solution to the challenge in your area. Let's turn our attention very quickly to Olawumi Omomomi. And Olawumi will be presenting spoken word. I can't wait to hear that. Is Olawumi ready?
You are.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is I love doing most is interpreting for hearing impaired students. I was inspired, surprised, and amazed when I saw a hearing teacher communicating with hearing impaired students using sign language. Since then, I disturbed myself on it, and now I am attracted to it. It becomes part of my blood, and I love doing it always. I was recognized by my principal in school to always interpret for hearing impaired on the attention. life is very simple. It's part of my ambition to study more about this. Thank you very much. You are blessed.
And I'm just told that that is Adebayo. Adebayo telling us exactly why he does what he does, imparting knowledge to hearing impaired students, and that is indeed very, very fantastic. I am amazed and I am inspired that with all of this that we are seeing, we can be rest assured that the next generation of leader and innovators is here with us already. And we have enough examples to see, especially young people in Nigeria, to understand that there is hope for this country. And especially the fact that there are many problems to be solved. So all it requires or what we need is to identify these problems and also offer to be a solution to the problem. We're live on Facebook and Instagram. If you're just joining us, it is the Gap webinar brought to you by Live Abundantly. It's International Youth Day. The theme for this year's observation is youth engagement for global action. I was telling you about 2020 and how significant this year is, especially for the United Nations. The UN is turning 75 this year, and it's only 10 years remaining to make the 2030 agenda. I'm talking about where we look forward to have achieved the 17 sustainable development goals, ranging from poverty and gender to climate change, inequality, and of course, closing the finance gap. And 2020 began with a lot of expectation, the need to usher in what they call a decade of action. Indeed, ambitious action. They need to fast track all of the efforts that have been placed on ground to achieve the SDGs. But you and I know what happened in the third month, as captured by Dr. Ama's article. The fact that no one really saw the COVID-19 pandemic coming. At least no one knew that it was going to come with such magnitude. And so it's 2020, 10 years to 2030, where there is need to indeed accelerate and speed up action towards achieving all of these goals. But, you know, even when there is a problem, you can be sure that we can be inspired to offer the solutions that are needed. And it is this sense of urgency and ambition that Live Abundantly has put together this webinar to mobilize young people and in the course, transforming all of our ideas into solutions. So we'll appreciate that you've joined us online. We have lots of packages coming for you. I don't want you to miss the panel discussion with all of our spotlight leaders. And I can see that our contortionist is live, right, with us. We saw Jane's video earlier on, you know, bending and twisting her body in what seemed to be impossible and unnatural. So I'm just going to ask Jane a couple of questions very quickly. I want you to tell us, Jane, if your mic is on, what inspired this particular art for you? You mentioned that you had some challenges earlier on. At what point, for instance, did you know that you could twist your body so well? And what inspired this particular art for you? Unmute your mic.
Okay.
Okay, yes, you're on now.
Thank you very much for this question. Like I said earlier on, my growing up was a really tough one, you know. But By the time I came up to this, like I never grew up with my parents, and me coming up to this extent, coming up all the way from the village back here in Lagos, it kind of really, as like it gave me this mindset that there is a whole much more that I can do, especially when I take a look at my family background, exactly where I'm coming from. I like I wouldn't want to end up the same way. There's a whole lot that I can do, just to assist, more or less assist my family though. So when I came up here to Lagos, I never knew I had this contorting lifestyle in me. Though I have this athletic idea, I love sport a lot, and right from when I was in primary school, I love sport a lot. I am always picturing in all the sporting activities. From there, when I got to secondary school, um, it continued. It continued. So there was this particular thing that happened to me one time in my life, which I wouldn't want to say here. So, but I wouldn't just say I wouldn't just say it happened to me without a reason. I would say it happened to me with a reason. And because of that, I kind of I took away the fear. I kind of put in the courage, wanting to be different. Like I needed it to make me different. Like I don't want to be that same old Jane. I don't want to be that same like she's just too in she's just too powerless and she can't do anything.
Mm.
I don't want it to be the same Jane. I don't want my family name to just direct or anything without being on TV. So I kind of, with that single act, it kind of it pushed me to wanting to do more.
Mm.
Anytime I come back home from school, I look at myself like this is not where I am meant to be. I am made for more. I am more than this. I can't just settle for less.
Mm.
So with that, anytime I come back, I kind of keep pushing. Though yeah, I work my ass out. Yes, I work, but that just did not stop me because I have already visioned what what I've always wanted, what I want my life to be like. So with that, that really kept
That's
pushing me, coupled with the incidents that happened. So that really kept pushing me to
mm.
wanting to make a difference. I just wanted to show more examples and make the world know that no matter what, no matter how little, no matter how hidden you've been, with one thing you can just come out blossomly. You can just kick it up. Like don't look at the past. Don't look at what has happened. Don't look at how it has happened. Just
Mm.
shut your mind out. Shut your as like give yourself that vision like okay, this is what I want no matter what. Yeah, I understand it could be very painful and it's not easy, to be frank with you. I'm talking from experience. It's not easy. It has never been easy. So with that, that has really helped me. I've been pushing, I've been kicking it, and I am still pushing.
Absolutely. And we're so grateful to you, Jane, because you did not allow your background to keep you on the ground. You did not allow the unpleasant experience to cage you in. You set yourself free. You decided for a better life. And that light is shining. And we are persuaded that it can shine brighter. I like the fact that you mentioned in that video you made that you're still learning. I'm also persuaded that there's a lot to unlearn, and you can only become bigger and bigger. But finally, before I let you go, there are people like you who have talent. I heard you say you work a lot. I understand that it takes working hard and working smart to turn your talent into a skill, which can be appreciated by a lot of people. But how do you overcome anxiety? Because I have seen you at many of Live Abundantly events. You come up on stage, do your thing so confidently. There are people who can sing, who can dance, who can do quite a number of other things, but who are very shy, who cannot stand in front of many people to confidently perform. How did you overcome that fear for the crowd, to become who you are right now?
That's very true. There's nobody that wants to go to the stage that won't feel this anxiety. Though I feel it at most of the time. But how I overcome them is that, being in the spotlight is like my thing. I love camera a lot. I love attention. I love people watching me because I have always have this thing in me like, you haven't seen the least of me. I am still coming. You just need to sit and watch this thing. And the fact that, okay, I could get to, because like I told you earlier on, I'm still moving up. I'm still looking. I'm still growing, and I still want more help from people. So with that, it kind of gave me confidence that this, you're not doing this for yourself. You're not doing this alone. You're not doing this all for yourself. You're doing this to help other people as well. Because I will always love people to also learn from me and like be transformed, and at the same time um um get inspired by my performance.
That's right.
So with
That's
all of
right.
these things, it really kept me going. It kind of take away the anxiety. And one thing is that definitely when you're on stage, yes, the anxiety will be there. But once you have started, then it's all gone. The confidence are back. What you are there to minister is there. So you just have to just deliver.
Absolutely. I think I get your point. No, I've heard a lot of people ask me that question, that how do you overcome stage fright? The fact is that you are going to be frightened. Each time I go on air to read the news, that anxiety is always there. But one thing I pick from what you have said is your ability to dare your fear, to face your fear, and the fact that the moment you can decide to do that, the Scapper Jane, we believe that you can do bigger and better. You've not even scratched the surface yet. You do not have an idea how far that body of yours can go. And we wish you all the very best. Thank you so much for entertaining us, and thank you for sharing your vision with us. If you're just joining us, it's the GAP webinar, Courtesy Live Abundantly, commemorating the International Youth Day. And we really appreciate your presence. Thank you so much for joining us. Now let's turn our attention to other performances that we have lined up for you. Jane, you should get some water. Sorry about that. We have, I believe that we saw Adebayo earlier, who told us rather, how he's inspired by imparting knowledge to hearing impaired students, and we saw the sign languages, and it's so absolutely inspiring. Coming up next now, it's spoken word performance, and we have Adebayo doing that for us.
Light, be, oh beautiful creature. I behold your splendid expression with your fascinating face that is called forth to shine in the dark, because that is your natural responsibility and ability. Of course, you are the light, and your name speak across every expression. Love, inspiration, greatness, healthy, truthful. Why can't you be the light? A light that people can see through and taste for. Be a light automatically draws every attention to your presence. Then why stress yourself on social media to gain more followers when a blink of your spark can bring 1K followers immediately? Calm down. Are you looking for attention? Be the light. Are you looking for a problem to solve? Be the light, because light himself is attention. But manifesting as light comes with various responsibility in being realistic, accountable, creative, fighter, focused. God called forth light in the beginning of creation. So also you are called to unleash your light, just as your parents brought you to this world with God's strength and encourage you to fly like a plane, encourage you to be the masters of your brain. So is it for you to bring forth your light, be the mastermind by the grace of your creator. You are the light that needs to shine to raise more than 1K followers out of the bondage of darkness. Be the light you ought to be.
Absolutely. That is Olawumi Omomomi with the spoken word, and we're going to be speaking with the young poet later on in the course of the show. We had Adebayo earlier, who gave us the amazing sign language moment. Thank you, young people. We're inspired by you, and I'm sure that everyone watching right now knows that he or she has something tangible, resident on their inside, and absolutely they can do something significant with that gift and that talent if they will work enough, hard and smart enough to turn that particular gift into a skill that everyone indeed will appreciate. We're making progress, and I cannot wait for the panel discussion to start, where we get deeper in conversation with all of our spotlight participants today. But for a moment, we're going to turn our attention to the issue of irregular migration, which has been very predominant, or rather very, very troubling recently. It's been on the news about how the COVID-19 pandemic has affected many Nigerians uh, who have challenges outside the country, who have been victims of human trafficking, and there were plans to bring them home, but the restriction in movement has actually tampered with that effort. But we have Chilean and Jerry, and both of them have been doing a fantastic job in enlightening young people about the importance of traveling the right way. It's important that there's nothing wrong in leaving the shores of Nigeria, but you must do it the right way. They have tried it before, they have made an attempt to leave the other way, and it has not been pleasant. So I'm going to take 5 minutes out for them to share their experience with you in this video. And when that is done, I'm going to talk to them very briefly about the challenges that are being faced now during the COVID-19 pandemic. I want every young person out there watching this to pay attention to Chilean and Jerry's story.
Hi, I am Azu Ifi Chilean, a volunteer for the Migrants as Messengers project. So 2017, I was invited over to France by two of my cousins who were there, and so they took about two other cousins to join me with one of the family in-law. And so I trusted them so much because they are family, and I believed the reason why they wanted to help was because at then I was going through a lot. I dropped out of school because of finance in my finals, and I also had several other challenges I was going through. I had a baby as at then. That was before the invitation came. He was 4 months old. I was going through so much. I was teaching, farming, doing business to keep up. So I believe as at then what they wanted to do was to assist. So I trusted them. And so they took me through the Trans-Sahara route, which was not the agreement, because they lied to us, they deceived us. We never knew what the intentions were until the journey already started. Now, this journey is not something you step back on, because the moment you embark on it and once you cross the Nigerian borders, you don't have a choice. You're bound to them. You can't say no to whatsoever orders you receive. So they took us through the desert. In the desert, I spent about a month and 2 weeks without food and water, and God just kept us alive. We survived it. So we got to Libya, got to their connection, got to the Hi, I was in detention for 3 months, and final stage of the whole thing. So unfortunately, I was arrested. I was thrown in detention. I was in detention for 3 months, and so finally I accepted the voluntary return of the International Organization for Migration, and that was how I came back home. I'm a survivor, and I advise everyone to please join hands. Let's build our country and not run. Thank you.
After finishing school from Auchi Polytechnic Auchi, a graduate of civil engineering, there was no job, Nigeria. And I decided to do a laundry, dry cleaning and laundry. And while I was doing that, a customer came and said, "How much are you doing this shirt?" And I said, "150 for a long sleeve shirt." And he said, "Come on." And he's my best customer. You know, when it comes like that, sometimes he won't dash you, keep the change, you know. And he said, "Do you know that this shirt you are doing here, sir, when you get to Europe, instead of 150, you get 7 euro." I was like, then euro was about 530. So when I got to, I couldn't sleep, I was just pressing the calculator, 530 times 7. Wow, that's about 2,000 for just one check. The thing blew my mind. I was like, this Europe, whatever it will take, we'll get there. And he told me something. He said, don't tell anybody. Like you see Nigeria, if you want to do something good, and if you tell somebody, that person will not become the person hindering you from getting what you want to get. And that's what I want to tell children today. Do not keep it to yourself. Because if you keep it to yourself, it will still bounce back. There's a popular adage that says, what you don't want your father to hear, it will still be your father that will see to it. And that's what's happening to us now. And he said, with just 300,000, just manage. You know, you're already in Europe. I was so happy, 300,000. And I was doing well in my laundry business. It was fine. It was booming. People were coming, companies were coming, banks were coming. And I was so happy when that came. I saved for 6 months. I saved extra for like 400,000, like 300, 400, maybe plus or minus. And to my greatest surprise, instead of 300,000, I ended up spending 1,150,000 naira. But the bad news is I didn't get to Europe. I stopped at Libya. It was tough. There's a place we go to in Sabah, they call the place Ajara Jazira. When you get there, we announce to you, welcome to the land of Ajara Jazira, the land of no mercy. It's like you pay your money or you die. And right before you, they'll be showing you from the walls blood of innocent people in Nigeria, of you, me, our brothers. They will tell you, this person refused to comply with us, we have to kill the person. They are not telling you stories, I am a victim. And they said I have to pay 300,000 naira to bail myself from the prison I entered, that I entered the wrong connection. And I was like, why will I enter a wrong connection after I paid for my ticket? And before you know, I had no choice. Nigeria that I was running from, that there is no money, it was that same Nigeria I was now calling to rescue me.
All right, so that was Chilean and Jerry's testimony, and it's always a very difficult video to watch each time it's been played. You heard Chilean's story of how our cousins were outside the country, they wanted her to come, She didn't go the right way. Eventually, she was detained for 3 months. And Jerry on the other side was doing well with this laundry business in Benin. And there was this customer who just sold the idea to him that he could actually earn more if he's in Europe. All right, so I understand that I can see Jerry on Zoom. I don't know if Chilean is live with us yet, but let's begin with Jerry. Jerry, how are you today?
Good morning. I'm doing fine.
Hey, um, Abba's article has opened our eyes to gap, and from all that we've seen, also we know that currently now there are Nigerians who are stranded abroad.
Hello.
Some of them who are just about how you're going to affect, all of the efforts that are being made in ensuring that the issue of irregular is nipped in the bud.
Hello.
Hello, Jerry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, please, can you take the question again, sir?
Absolutely. I was talking about the challenges being faced with the issue of irregular migration in the midst of the pandemic. How do you think the COVID-19 pandemic is impacting negatively on all of the efforts that have been made thus far?
Well, good morning, everybody. Thanks for having me. Good morning, Ifemi. The COVID-19 has actually, hit us hard, in spreading this news. Because as we are speaking like this now, people are still migrating irregularly, honestly speaking. Reason because they lock the border here. Some persons are still passing the back way to do this thing that we are talking about every day. And what's paining me most is like this thing is happening in those people who are in the exposed area like Lagos, Ibadan, Ogun, Edo, like that. So the COVID-19 has really done more harm to us in the sense that it's not making us to go out to speak to these people, to still hear this news. Because to me, I call it good news. Because a lot of persons are falling victims. The reason they are falling victims is because they are not informed. I myself, I fall victim because I was not informed. I didn't see somebody to speak, the truth as I am speaking now. So the COVID-19 did not really make us to go out during the over 3 months. We are not going out. Everybody was scared. And as we are not going out, people were living on our own back. You see, so a lot of persons, have been trafficked as I speak to you now in Niger because of the COVID-19. They're looking at it, okay, this time there's not going to be anybody that is going to hold us. Let's just pass through the back way and just, go. But we thank God for so many persons that have been listening to us, those that have been, on Instagram, on Facebook, and on this program like this. And a lot of them have been able to, okay, no, I'm not going to do this. If I must travel, I need to travel the right way. So in a way, the COVID-19 has been helpful. In a way, the COVID-19 has not been helpful. So that's the challenges we face so far.
Jerry, there are quite a number of young people listening to you right now. The logic is that things are not working in Nigeria, and by all means, they want to, check out and look for greener pasture. Based on your experience, what would you say to them?
Well, like I used to say, we are not saying, or I am not saying that you should not travel. What we are saying is, if you must travel at all, you should do it the right way. Of course, we've been to different places in markets, in bus stops, and so who will tell us Nigeria is not good and you are telling us to say, I want to leave this country. So I will ask them, what do you want to go and do there? Are you going there for schooling? Are you going there for work? Are you relocating? You cannot be using a tourist visa for a business visa. You cannot be using a school visa, a schooling visa for a business or for a tour. So they need to understand this thing. And I told them, I said, if you must travel, there are registered agencies that you need to go, ask questions. And the reason why I follow those things is because I didn't have access to those stuff, because I was looking like those agencies like it's only the rich or the big ones or the brothers, let me use that word now, that have access to them, that me as a small boy like I was then, I can't access the information, of which they were just lies that they fed me with those days. So now what we're saying is this: if you must travel, what are you going there for? Do you have a hand job that you are going there to do? Are you going there for schooling? Okay, what are the registered organizations that you need to meet? Like, for example, if you go to NAPTIS, they will tell you. If you go to IOM, they will tell you. Even Live Abundantly, we give information on how to travel the right way. So my sister listening to me out there, we are not saying you should not travel. What are you going there to do? Like the Anjuri culture is handwork. If you go there, okay, I want to go and do handwork there. You have something you want to do. Then you apply for the right visa that will take you there legally and not having any issues like we had. Because most of all, like me, I stayed in the prison for 9 months. Yeah, 9 months in the detention camp. There was no father, there was no mother, there was no cook, there was no good food. I was just there stranded. It got to a point that was losing my brain. Why? Because I could not assimilate again. It's easy for you to be at home, lockdown, like you are still going out watching TV. My own lockdown in the prison, intention prison in Libya, there was no TV, there was no mattress. I was sleeping underneath the ground. Why? I refused. I didn't get the information I needed to get when I needed it most.
I
I
get your
got
point,
it when
Jerry.
all hope was lost.
Absolutely. And what you're saying is you're not asking people not to travel, but they must do it the right way. It's also important to note here that
Yes.
given the current challenges that the world is facing, even before the pandemic, I know that a country like the United States has paused the issuance of visa to Nigeria. And these are the information that young people need to know. Uh, since 10 o'clock, we've been having a very vast conversation with young people. And if there's any lesson anybody can learn, is the fact that opportunity found here in Nigeria. Jerry, can you mute your mic for a minute? Let me bring Chilean in very quickly. Thankfully, Chilean isn't looking like what she's been through. Congratulations, and we heard your story is very touching. And one of the things that you mentioned that you have cousins abroad who wanted you to come over. Are you saying that even family members can, one way or the other, push you into human trafficking? Help shed more light on that, Chilean.
Okay, thank you so much for having me. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Nifemi, for that question. Okay, so one of the things we do now is to enlighten people so that they will know the truth and all the tactics of human traffickers. This traffic, they are family, they are friends, they are people around you, not even too far from you. So we would like them to know that family members can take you. You can't trust someone extent that I did. Yeah, I believe that family would not harm me or would not hurt me. That's why I got to what I got into. So now I'm aware that family members can equally traffic you. So you should be aware when they are telling you those things that seem like it's so true, it's so nice. You should be able to check if what the person is telling you is accurate. Yeah, I know that they have these enticing words because those family members who trafficked me had very nice words. They had things they could say that made me believe. They had wonderful plans for me, their family, of course. So all we had in mind was their good plans. I didn't know that as at then, family members are traffickers, could be traffickers, not all family members though, but then you should be able to know their tricks and tactics. Thank you.
Definitely. So, the news recently, Chilean, has been flooded by stories of women and girls who have been trafficked outside Nigeria. There are many stories coming from Lebanon of people who went there to teach and do noble jobs, but who eventually found out that they were trafficked for prostitution, used as house helps, they have been molested, and all of that. What do you think makes women and girls more vulnerable, to human trafficking?
Okay, so currently, the world is recording sex trade as one of the highest paid whatever. So these traffickers are taking advantage of our girls. They know that because it is highly paid or they are making good money from it, they no longer care about the life of these ladies. So they come to them, offer them noble jobs like they did to me. Yeah, when I was going, they didn't tell me I was going to set trade or anything like that. They just told me since I was educated, I could get good jobs. So it's because of this high demand of sex trade or the income that they are getting from it that makes our ladies vulnerable to it. But I would like to say to our ladies, from what I have observed and from what I've learned, now when someone is telling about a job, there are ways to actually know if the person if equally is telling you the truth. Don't just fall for anything. Don't just fall for any kind of lie, any kind of job at all. You know, when for me, as I then they were saying, yeah, what are they doing? Do they even have the kind of job they are offering you? What are they doing over there? If they have proof of what they do, you should accept what they are offering you. But if they don't have proof, because most of them are not even working over there, they use our ladies to make money. So you should be able to dictate if whosoever is trafficking you or whosoever is inviting you, because they are not using the word trafficking, whosoever is inviting you has a good job over there for you. You should be able to dictate and ask questions. Thank you.
All right, Jerry and Chilia, we can talk about this for so long. We have to take a break down to other items of the program. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask every young person watching via Zoom, all of Instagram, if you have questions for Jerry and Jillian, who have been victims of human trafficking, if you have an experience you want them to shed more light on, I'm going to implore you to please drop your questions on the comment section. On Zoom, you can chat, you can drop your question on the public chat, and I can read it from there. Dude can help capture the questions on Facebook and Instagram. In the course of the program, if there are questions, I'm going to bring Jerry and Chilean back to address those questions. Any questions at all relating to traveling outside the country, human trafficking, perhaps there is someone already talking to you about an opportunity outside the country and you want to confirm whether the opportunity is true or not. You heard their stories about how they spent months in Libyan prison. And thank goodness they're alive. It's not a pleasant experience. It's not an experience we want to have at all. All right, so thank you, Jerry and Chilean. It's always inspiring to hear you talk to us. And thank you so much for ensure that more young people not fall victim and follow the that you follow. Please, Chilean, can you mute your mic? Let's move on very quickly. We're on, okay, we have just about 30 more minutes and we can't wait for the forum discussion to start. But let's take this dance video courtesy for Lajimi. You're going to love this.
This is Lajimi. I'm an actor, and what makes me do what I do is because we have different people with different hearts, different arts with different choice with different thoughts, and different thoughts with different story. Let's save that woman from the dark. Let's save that kid from the dark. And let's make them think in abundance. Let's make them see things in abundance. Let's make them breathe in abundance. Together we can make the world a better place. Let's save our kids from those monsters. Let's save our women from those drunk cycles. Together we can make the world a better place. That's why I do what I do. Like I said, I'm an apple. Because when I lost my dad, he told me something that life does not give me what I want. It only gives me what I negotiate for. So wherever you are, I want you to start thinking in abundance. And I want you to start seeing things in abundance. Don't tell anybody your problem. If you don't want to die in the gap, the government cannot save us from the gap. Your parents cannot save you from the gap. Only you can save you from the gap. Together we can make the world a better place. Let's save our brothers and sisters out there. Thank you very, 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 very much. Live abundantly.
Thank you very much, Folajibi, for that very inspiring one. And the fact is that the gap is getting wider. If you have read Dr. Amma's article, and I love the fact that Folajibi is saying that all of us must take responsibility not to fall into the gap. And the more we even take responsibility, we can even bridge the gap, even in the midst of a pandemic. We can do our part and ensure that we are imparting lives very positively. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, it is the GAP webinar, courtesy Live Abundantly, commemorated International Youth Day, observed every 12th of August. And it's my pleasure to bring to you the next generation of leaders and innovators that we have. We call them our spotlight participants. And in the build up to this event, I understand that there is there are indeed cash prizes, and skill training to the one for those who can interpret Dr. Amma's The Gap article, creatively in all of the different segments that we talked about earlier. All right, let's bring on Anjorin Babatunde Adeniran as well as Adejoke Lasisi. All right, so we'll just wave your hand, Anjorin, if you can hear me, to be sure that you're live, and also wave your hands to me, Adejoke, if you can hear. Beautiful. So I can see Adejoke. Let's start with Adejoke very quickly. I saw your video, very inspiring. I see you, Anjorin. I'll be with you shortly. Very inspiring work you're doing, converting plastic wastes and textiles into very, very innovative products. And we really appreciate that gesture coming from you. But I want to begin by asking you what brought about this idea for you. Just talk us through how you got inspired to do this.
All right, thank you so much for this opportunity. I really appreciate being on this program right now. Hello, sorry. I'm very excited. My name is Adejoke Lasisi, and what inspired me, I'm so happy with the story of others I've been listening to, and I just quickly want to share a little story of mine and the turning points in my life. So when I started my business, when I started weaving ashoke, I was born into weaving ashoke, but when I finished my secondary school and I started the business of ashoke, so many people were like, this ashoke business cannot really move. Who is going to use ashoke? Nobody is using ashoke again. So I told myself, I said, okay, with this vision, and I carried out a little survey. Like, I was able to understand why people do not like using ashoke anymore. So they told me, some of them were like, okay, it is heavy, it is not attractive. So we came up with an innovative solution to make sure that ashoke is lighter and it is attractive. So then I started my business, and starting business wasn't just moving well. And now as Nigeria youths, this thing, I wasn't like, I just want to make this money. I want to make I wasn't really thinking about the difference I was going to make, because so many people ask me this question like, Joke, how did you get to where you are right now. Like, it wasn't really perfect at first, like I have everything on grand set for me. No. But during that course, something happened to me. So someone came to me, was like, ah, Joke, all this work you are doing, if you actually can do it in America, you will do very fine. Oh. So they told me about an agent. I don't really share this part of my story, but I just thought I'd share it today. So they told me about an agent. Then I paid the agent that I wanted to go to the US. That they say if I go to the US, my work is going to go fine. I will do very fine there. So I paid the agent all the money that I was actually gathering to rent a shop, because as at that time I was still doing my work at the back of the house where my dad gave me. So all the money that I had gathered together, I packed everything. I think it was about 80,000 naira then. I gave it to the agent. He booked an appointment for me. I went to Lagos a day before the interview, because the interview was around 7 a.m. in the morning. So a lot of things happened that made me not to get to the interview place on time. I got there. When I got there, the Oyibo just looked at me. He didn't even ask much question. He was just like, we are sorry, we can't give you. You know, when I got outside the place, I called the agent. I was like, hello, I was not given the visa. What happened? It was like, Joke, don't worry, we are going to try again. That they are not serious. Why would they not give you? I now, immediately at that time, I now sat down. I now said, Joke, that these people is their country. If they feel like I'm not right to be taken to their country, that means that they will not give me the visa. I should not be angry with them. So I was like, I now sat down. In that time, I told myself, I said, I'm not going to apply for this thing again. I will work very hard in this country, and I will make sure that they are the one that will come and like ask for me that, Joke, we need you to come and teach us something in your country. So at that point, I look at myself, I was like, this agent that is doing it for me and other young people in the community, he did not even bother traveling out himself. He keeps collecting our money. That means that Nigeria is good. That means that you can make money in Nigeria if you really know the right way. So I now look at me, I said, no, this agent, I will not allow anybody to just collect my money. And at that point, it was just a turning point in my life. And I was like, this energy that I'm putting into traveling out, this money that I put into it, if I can actually invest it into my business or half of it into my business, that means that my business can thrive with the right mindset. My business can thrive in Nigeria. So I put all my energy. I stopped thinking about that my business cannot move that until I travel out. Then I just put everything in the business. And since then, I've won like about nine different grants for my business. Aside from that, we came up with an innovative solution that, okay, this skill that I already have inside of me, how to give a show, okay, how can I make environmental impact? I see people in my community just throw pure water sachet, just throw it on the street, take all the used clothes, jeans, and just keep burning them. You know, all these things affect our health and, you know, all this air pollution. So I was like, how can we give this solution in a way that will not be causing another problem, which is the way, our local traditional way of weaving. So we started weaving all these nylon and started creating beautiful products out of them. And to the glory of God, we've really, we've been making environmental impact. We've been training young people. We've been training women in the community. At the same time, last year, July, no, not last year, last month, we won the award of National MSME in Nigeria for the year 2020. So this I would say that even this fund. So thank you so much.
Adejoke, but Adejoke, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, just a minute. Let me button very quickly because of time. I must say that your story is very inspiring. We also hear that you mentioned quite a number of grants. I'm being told now that you also got a car last month. Is that true?
The National MSME Award came with a brand new car. It came with a cash prize and the plague.
All of these are happening in Nigeria. You didn't have to pay the agent again and then try to run out of the country. Congratulations to you, Adejoke. We are indeed very inspired by what you have done. While you were saying that, a question dropped on the Zoom platform, and I believe that your session adequately answered that question. Someone was asking that almost everyone in my area once said if they will see the opportunity to go outside the country, they will make it in life. But my thinking is, what about our country? Can we make it? Because they complain about lack of job, lack of encouragement, and so on. And I believe that your session adequately answered that question. The fact that you did not only have a skill, you also thought of how you can do what you're doing differently. And right now you are solving you're offering solution to the problem of waste, turning it to gold. Congratulations, Adejoke. Please stand by. We're going to ask, you want to say one more thing? I'm just going to give you 2 more minutes because there are students who have to return to class. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. So after that time, I started studying very well in business. And could you believe that my first trip was in an international trip, fully paid, all lessons paid. As in the first time I was going to enter airline in my life. So like, I was just like, this thing is actually possible. And if you just put your mind into it, it's just the mindset. And I'm just grateful that I didn't have to like keep paying, because before you know it, you will now calculate all the money you spend and it will not even be worth it at the end of the day. That's what I just wanted to say.
Thank you so very much. I'm sure that someone watching you is inspired. If you have questions, oh, sorry, I muted my mic there. If you're watching via the social media, drop your questions for Adejoke. Zoom will gather the questions for me. If you're watching via Zoom, you can also drop your questions here so we can pass it across to Adejoke. I understand that the students are pressed for time, so we're going to do this as fast as possible. We still have some of our very fantastic spotlights participants. Folajimi Giwa is standing by. Oluchi Akugodo is standing by. Adebayo Mustafa is standing by, as well as Olawumi Omomomi. Before I get to you guys, let me bring in Anjorin Babatunde Adeniro. Anjorin, I only have one question for you. So we saw your video. We saw the fantastic job you're doing. Fashion designing seems to be everywhere. As a matter of fact, they say that there's a difference between tailors and fashion designers. I don't know how true that is. But tell us, how did you create, uniqueness for yourself? How do you create a niche for yourself, Anjori, at this time where there seem to be a lot of people doing what you do? And that has been a challenge because young people will tell you that, okay, I want to do something, for instance, fashion designing, but there are lots of people doing it. How do I succeed? How do I, shine? How do I break through?
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Anjorin Babatunde. That question is a very funny question and not that funny as well. Life is it's not really a challenge and it's not a challenge, right? Because I feel life on its own is a skill. Your personal view to your skill. So the life can push to different dimension. So when the life pushes you, you have to push back because you know where you want the life to push you to. Are you with me? Hello?
I'm with you, Anjorin. I'm with you.
We have many fashion designers, but not everybody are doing what I'm doing. I could say maybe like only 5% that do what I'm doing because I'm really kind of standing. I'm fully couture and I do into couture ready to wear. So beginning of this training is very difficult, it's very hard, very tough for me. Because I always remember where I came from, how I start, that I wasn't having intention of being a fashion designer because my parents really want me to go to university, go be a lawyer, be a doctor. So when I was leaving my parents, they were like, but I'm totally rough and I'm kind of a rough boy and stubborn when I'm childly. But see that I was born and growth up in Nobel in the way a lot of fashion designers exist with Tinko embroidering, Phoenix embroidering, and a lot of tailors.
Okay.
So after my secondary school, I decided to have a snooker board and table tennis where I can be making some small change for myself to be feeding myself. Like, so I started doing that. Today, police will come and arrest the table. Tomorrow, police will come and carry the snooker. Like, this thing come every day. And there were arrest boys that are playing the table tennis with me. I went to go and look for money to go and pay
Mm.
them. So I thought to say one night that even if I get that table tennis, I don't tell my friend what I go through. That it wasn't easy. I wasn't born this way around. Even if I get it, if I build the table tennis, they will say, they were like, I'm looking for 1,500 just to buy a bat. Nobody could borrow me money. Nobody help me with that. I was like, what would I do? One of my friends said, I'm joining. Let's go and do conductor. You can get this money. I went where they do conductor. I do conductor for like 2, 3 days. 2, 3 days. I got it. I don't have more than 1,500. Like I had like 4,000 a day for like 4 days. I was like, this thing is
Wow.
good. Let me continue doing this conductor. But I only look at my name and join, and I have many friends that have their great family names. That this conductor make my name a great name. No, I said no. I can't do this conductor. Let me just quit. After I have the money I want to use for the bat. So I do the conductor to get the bat. After I bought the bat, I started doing that tennis. People come and pay me. But every day I only have it with police. They come that they are playing gamble, they are doing this. So I now say I won't do this tennis again. So then I have a lot of friends. They'll just come to my house, sit down, watch video from morning to night. I'm like, this can't help you, this guy. So I now move out like, there's a lot of tailors around here. Let me go and look for a way to learn tailor. I went, then there was this embroidery is in vogue. There it's called 20 youth embroideries, ponies. That's what I really have in mind. But nobody could accept me because they see that I gang boys, I do tape dance, I do snooker, I do things like gamble. Like, I really want to let them know you can't learn this, we can't teach you. I go to this, they say they can't teach you. Yeah, they can't teach you. So one of my friends like called me that if I'm ready to learn the Tinko, but that time Tinko is not more in vogue. It's going out of fashion then. But if that 20 is in vogue, then that's what I really want to learn. But since nobody want to accept to learn fashion, Tinko 20 U, let me just sit with the Tinko. But it's not in vogue anymore. It's out of fashion. But I have to be with my friend. So my friend really give me one warning that now we are no more friends. I'm your boss now. I said, no problem. Whatever I send, you want to go and do it. I said, no problem, but I have vision for this. I started learning English. I said, I'm doing well. But I always have God that by the time I'm going to finish this training, I want to work with a very big fashion designer. Fashion house. I always tell God that by the time I'm done with this thing, I want to work in a very big fashion house. So my boss said, I'm going to train this thing for 1 year. I was like, fine. But like, when I got like 7 months, I started having issue with my boss. My boss now sent me, I should go. They don't want to teach me. I was like, what happened? I begged, and he said, no, he's from Ghanaian. I started begging, they said, no, I don't have interest in it. I said, what? This can happen. I just paid 7 months, and I have to go for 1 year. I won't accept this. So I was like, I started calling all the elderly in that area to come and beg my boss. They will come, they will beg my boss. My boss will say, no, you won't accept me anymore. This one will come, my boss will say, no, you won't accept me anymore. My boss said, I'm going to call my mom.
Okay.
My boss said, I'm going to call my mom. And my mom there was a Muslim.
Okay. It appears we lost contact with Anjorin there, but I must say that it's a very interesting and very inspiring talk. Anjorin told us just how he moved from quite. Anjorin is an example of a Nigerian youth who is telling us that education is beyond the four walls of the schools, and the fact that you are in school, for instance, doesn't mean that you cannot learn a skill, and that is a testimony to most of the things that we see happen today. He once had a table tennis business, but then he decided to learn a skill, and we see the amazing work that he's doing right now. Anjari, please stand by. We are going to entertain questions from viewers on the social media, and then we are going to have you address some of the questions before the end of the webinar. Let's turn our attention very quickly to the students who are standing by. Folaji Migiwa did a beautiful song for us earlier. She is a volunteer with the Live Abundantly. Folaji is 17 years old. Talk to us about schooling, because at this point, at this age, we believe that you're in school and you also have the ability to sing. How okay, Oluchi is 17. Okay, so I'm talking to Oluchi now. Oluchi was the one who did the song earlier, I believe. Oluchi, tell us about being um, managing your talent, being a student at the same time. How has it been thus far?
Okay, actually, that's not been easy. Anytime I come back from school, I always have this, like, I'm passionate to sing. I'll just feel like singing. I love to sing since I was a child. I love to be inspired by song. I love song. But in my academic aspect, anytime I return from school, actually it's not easy. That's not easy for me.
I understand the fact that, but what is your priority right now? Um, is your priority schooling or singing?
Schooling.
Schooling, absolutely. And I appreciate the fact that you've chosen to, focus on your studies for now. And there's absolutely nothing wrong in being talented. I believe that at your spare time, you can work on your singing. Do you write songs as well?
I do.
Oluchi?
I do write song.
Beautiful. So there are many young people out there who, have shown us the capacity to do quite a number of things. We'll encourage you to keep up. Can you introduce your friends to us? I can see that you're there with some of your friends.
This is Spider. I did
Spike.
Zena.
Sorry, can you say that again? Okay, your mic is muted now. You have to unmute your mic.
Okay. Spider and Zena.
Zainab, good to see you. I did not get the other name.
Spider.
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 Okay,
Spider.
Side that. Thank you so much for joining us. So we understand that schools are open back now in the midst of the pandemic. How have you guys been coping, especially having to adhere to the COVID-19 protocol? Did you get my question, Oluchi?
Yes, sir. Sir?
I said, how are you guys coping having to adhere with the COVID-19 protocol? I understand that exit classes are back in school.
Yes,
How have
sir.
you been coping? What has been the situation like in your school?
Um, it's just that we do social distance, nose mask, putting on your nose mask, washing your hands, washing our hands, stuff like that. No hugging, no shaking, no shaking. Just be on your own.
Even though it doesn't look like you guys are keeping social distancing.
And because we are sharing this with people.
And you're not also wearing your mask. But it is well. We hope that you are there with all of that subsequently. Thank you so much, Oluchi, for your time. Let me bring in very quickly Folaji Bikiwa. No. It was Adebayo who did the sign language. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, where's Adebayo? Is he here on Zoom with us?
Yes, sir.
Beautiful, Adebayo. Fantastic job you did there. You were sharing with us what inspired that. Can you tell us very quickly?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Adibayo Abdisalam. Actually, what inspired me about that was that although I attended their school and I know their behavior, I know what they look like, I know they are. At first, I don't want to learn this, but later on I have to learn it so as to help them. So there was a day when I saw one of my teachers communicating with them, and I was like, wow, how did this teacher do this? So that made me to have more passion for that. So that is it, sir.
Absolutely beautiful. So, what is your interaction with hearing impaired students right now? What do you do with them? How do you impart knowledge to them?
Hmm, actually, sometimes because in our school we don't have enough teachers for them that and some other subjects. So when they are teaching us, I have to be the one interpret for them, explaining the topics for them.
Fantastic job you're doing. We really appreciate you, and we want you to do even more. So that students are very proud of you. We are proud of you, and we cannot wait to see the great and amazing things that you will do, even for the nation at large in the future. Let's bring in Omomomi. Is Omomomi here? Olawumi?
Yes, sir.
How is mommy today? Olawumi, are you there? Did we lose contact with Olawumi? Are you there, Olawumi?
Sir, I'm here, sir. I'm with Mustafa Dibayo.
Beautiful. Okay, beautiful. So both of you are spoken word artists.
Yes. Yes, sir.
All right, so let me start with you, Omomomi. Is Omomomi your surname or your nickname?
Sir, it is Omomumi. It is my,
Omowumi.
yes,
It is
Sonny.
your, all right.
Yes.
Olawumi, Omowumi. So you
Yes,
have
sir.
two Wumis in your name. I call you Wumi.
Miss Square.
Also, it's about we would love if you can turn on your cameras. We can not see you, though we can hear your voice. But tell us about spoken word. Tell us about your love for spoken word, and tell us about how you're using it to impart.
Okay. Actually, I love watching spoken word, but I observed that in other countries like Eric Thomas and others, they motivate their people to do well. So by them watching the video, they are motivated to do their work. That's why their country is developing. So I started building up on my own that I need to build Nigeria too also by motivating them, especially the youth. They sometimes they will just nobody could motivate them. They were just like living in their own life, and so on. So I started like trying to go out there and preach to them about life, that we have something inside us that we can do. We have light. We have talent enough that is inside us that we can do. Because in my, especially in my streets, I do watch people smoking. I do watch people going to hotel prostitution. So I try to do something like this to motivate them to do the right thing. So that's it, sir.
Fantastic work you're doing, Olawumi, Omowumi. We appreciate it, and I'm sure you know that creative writing requires you to read more to perfect your skill. We saw your video earlier and it's very inspiring. We look forward to seeing more, and we expect that you'll work harder and also watch how it's been done internationally so that you can do even better. You guys have refused to show us your face. We can't see you yet, but let's talk to Adebayo Mustafa. Adebayo, walk us through your writing, your creative writing process. How do you get inspired to write these poems? What time of the day and what topics do you write about?
I'm sorry, sir. I wasn't the one that wrote it. So I'm not the writer. It
Okay,
was
but you
Zinta.
perform it.
No, no, no. I only did video performance. I was the one that sent the write-up, sir.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. So tell us about the creative process for you, what it means to you, and how you intend to use what you do to impact others positively.
Okay. So the writing aspect, I observed that people love reading of stories.
That's right.
Some people cannot get the videotape. So I just in social media I love writing of story, like a story of life, so that people can impact, people can be motivated in my story writing. That's it, sir.
Fantastic, fantastic. Adebayo Mustafa, Olawumi, Omowumi, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Thank you for the great work you're doing. We're encouraging you to do even more. And you know that you guys are the leaders. You know, whatever problem you're seeing in Nigeria today, you are the solution, and we're counting on you to make that. We're running out of time now. It's already 11:31. I'm just going to ask Folajimi Diwa if he's online here. One question. Is Folajimi here? Is he still here with us? Okay, so if he is, Folajimi, I hear you talk about the things your father told you about the fact that life doesn't give you what you desire, but what you deserve.
Okay.
You're an actor, I believe. Tell us about how young people can take what they want and not just sit down, laid back, and expect it to come to them. Olajimi, are you there?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm here.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Okay.
Olajimi, if you can hear me, you might have to unmute your mic. Okay, Folajimi, okay, I can see you now. I need you to unmute your mic.
Hello.
All right, so we'll get back to that subsequently because of our time. A big thank you to everyone who's joined us via Zoom. A big thank you to everyone watching us on social media. Don't forget to drop your questions as comments, and we'll get to it in the GP. Let's take this Puerto Rosita. I am a diamond, and it's brought to us by one of the members board of trustees of Jimmy, can you mute your mic? I'll get back to you in a moment. Try to fine tune your connection, and we'll see if we can have a conversation before the end of this web. But let's take the Puerto Rosita. I am a diamond, courtesy Mr. Peter Armand Boyo, a member board of trustees of Live Abundantly.
I am a diamond, precious and rare, an unspoiled gem that's brilliant and strong. I am a diamond, unfaceted and rare, rust made from dust. I am aware that I am rare. Polished gem rock, bright, beautiful, brilliant. I am a diamond, valuable, always in style. I am a diamond, created under pressure, hard to cut, you can't break me. I am a diamond, precious, beautiful, unbreakable, unstoppable, hero, phoenix, remarkable rock of the future. Only good eyes see through the light that shines, 'cause I am a diamond and I'm gonna shine. I am a diamond, precious and rare, an unspoiled gem that's brilliant and strong. I am a diamond. Thank you.
Wow. I didn't want that to end. I am a black diamond and I am rare. That's beautiful. I wish we could put our hands together for um, Mr. Bowie for that lovely one. I don't know you guys ask you to clap all the while. Fantastic job, Mr. Boyle. I'm just going to add, I'm a black diamond and I'm ready to shine. And one thing about diamonds is, you have to go deep to fetch them, and there's a lot of refining processes that would take place. And I believe that everyone here today is a diamond. It is your responsibility to find what makes you special, work on it, develop it, and with time, we are going to shine. Okay, we have a question here. The question is, let me get that question very quickly and get someone to respond to it as we wrap up this session. My question is, I love writing, especially for the youth, and I've started my writing, but the issue is publishing. How can I work on it for me to be able to publish it for the world to see? Okay, I'm going to bring Mr. Boyo in very quickly to answer that question. Um, Someone is a writer and then he just wants to understand what it takes to get his works published.
Okay, first of all, you have to be visible as a writer, so you have to look for the genre and you have to find fellow writers and know what you're writing about. As far as publishing, there are lots of publishers out there. You have to do research. As a writer, research is very important. So you have to get research. And if you have a mentor that's a writer, you can contact them or contact anybody that's into publishing, and they can advise you on where to go, because not all publishers will publish your work. There are different types of publishers, but it's something that you have to do the research on. But if your content is good, you can start by doing a blog or just little extracts, and you might attract a publisher, or you might attract a mentor, or you might attract your fellow writers. And then, like I always say, you have to be in the right mix. If you're an actor, you have to go where actors go. If you're a writer, you have to go where writers go, so that you can get the information. But the information is out there.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much, Mr. Boyo. Your poem is already been adapted. Jerry just sent a message. He says, I am a yellow diamond. Yeah. So whatever
We're
color
all diamonds in the rough. Yes.
all diamonds. I love that. Whatever color it is. Okay, so let us. Dr. Amma sent a message. I did not get the message. Can I perhaps send the message again so I can get that particular message you're trying to pass across? Let us say a very big thank you to all of us who have joined us. We need to thank our sponsors for the cash prizes that we have lined up for those who have sent in for the creative writing, creative performance, and fashion design in line with The Gap. That's the article written by Dr. Amma. I understand that entries will end today by 6 p.m. A big thank you to Allied Empowerment. A big thank you to Curator Education. A big thank you to Anjori Couture. Thank you so very much. We appreciate what you're doing and how you have extended that hand of fellowship with this great initiative. Okay, so we also have Diamond Pictures. Thank you so very much for your contribution today. Let's see. Okay, with regards, Dr. Ama is talking to me with regards to the person who sent in the question. Okay, okay, and she was asking whether, how did I know whether I was a male or female? Oh, my bad. There's no name attached to that question actually, so maybe we should have used the female gender if that's what you're talking about. All right, let's see if we can get our last spotlight participant to make one or two contributions because we're running out of time. Dune, if you can capture some questions online, we can also accommodate them very briefly before the end of this webinar. All right, so let's bring in actor Folajimi Giwa. If you can hear me, I asked you earlier about the comments you made, the fact that we get in life what we do not get what we desire really, but what we demand out of life. My question for you is, how do young people out there go out to actually get what they really desire and dream at this time? Olajimi, did you get that?
Can you hear me very well? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, Folajimi. Please go ahead. You have just 2 minutes.
Okay, good. Okay, please come up with your question again, sir.
I'm asking you what young people can do, to get what they demand. I mean, what they desire, to go out to achieve their dreams, especially in our society at this time.
Okay, thank you very much. To a level of thought, I feel the first thing you should do is to be self-aware, be self-conscious of who you are, know yourself fully, and know your temperament, and know how to use your weakness as your strength. If you are this kind of a person that like you get shy anytime you see people, I feel you can use that as a strength and not a weakness. All you just have to do is to spend time on yourself, ask people that have been, ask your mentors how some questions, how they started, their challenges, and you use that as a guide to get to life.
I'm sorry. Your network is very terrible. We can hardly hear you. What we're going to do is engage you subsequently. I'm afraid we cannot use that. We can't make do with this connection at this time. Okay. Apologies for the noise from here. I'm working from home, and my daughter really was seeking my attention. But ladies and gentlemen, let me say a big thank you to all of you for being a part of the conversation today. A big thank you to Live Abundantly. 2020, hello. Big year. And it's commencing a decade of action in the fulfillment of all of these sustainable development goals, 17 of them that we've been talking about. And we're persuaded that the next generation, that's you and I, who are the innovators, carry the burden of fulfilling all of these dreams and ensuring that these become a reality. We want to say special thank you to the Board of Trustees and founder of Live Abundantly. Thank you for this initiative. We appreciate you. Thank you for putting this on board, ensuring that young people are actively engaged, inspired to do what they need to do to fulfill and establish all that we call a dream, especially in this part of the world. We are persuaded that a sense of urgency and ambition is required, especially as we count down to 2030. We are also persuaded that the gap that Dr. Amma adequately mentioned in our article needs to be bridged, especially post-COVID-19, now that we have the challenge of addressing the pandemic. But if there's anything I believe is a take-home, it is the fact that even in the midst of problems, we can be the solution. We can turn our ideas to practicable solutions that would change our words and that will indeed better our lives. And that is the essence of this conversation as the United Nations turns 75 and it's 10 years to 2030. I want to say Happy International Youth Day to everyone. A big thank you to all of our Spotline participants. Robert Jane, thank you for your contribution. Oluchi, we appreciate you. Adejoke, thank you for that fantastic story you told us about your story from zero to hero. It's amazing that someone who was paying, who was giving out all she ever earned to travel abroad, got an all expense paid trip country doing what she's passionate about. A big thank you to Olawumi or Mowumi for the spoken word. A huge thank you to Chilean and Jerry sharing with us their experiences with traveling abroad. Folajimi, with thank you. And do not forget that you and I do have the responsibility to ensure that 50% of the world population is completely taken out of this gap. And if you and I would do what we must do, then the world indeed will be a better place. Once again, don't forget that entries for the competition will expire 6 p.m. today. A big thank you to all of our sponsors who have made the cash prizes and indeed the skill training available. We encourage you to ensure that you submit before 6 p.m. On behalf of Live Abundantly, the founder, Dr. Ama, I am Nifemi Oguntoye. A big and huge thank you for all of you who joined us online on Facebook, on Instagram. A big thank you to the members, board of trustees, and all the participants on Zoom. It's hard to say goodbye, but we have to go. Happy International Youth Day, everyone. And I believe that you have been greatly inspired and imparted positively by this webinar.
Don't go down to slavery. Don't go. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop the human trafficking. Stop it. Stop it. Stop the human trafficking. It's against the law. International law. It's against the law. Someday them gonna get you. Na 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 na.